This week we're talking about the 2008 movie Wall-E, and I just want to start out by saying that I don't think it's a very controversial take, but this is a pretty great movie. Just gonna throw that out there, and if anyone disagrees, I think maybe we got to kick them out. It manages to wrap up this message about consumerism and corporate greed and its negative effects on the environment, and somehow put it into a kids movie and managed to tell a really compelling story the entire time, and I really like it. I haven't seen this movie since it was in theaters. I guess I would have been 9 years old, and I didn't really remember much about it, but I really enjoyed this rewatch, and overall I think I got to give it probably an 8 out of 10
at the end.
All right, I will go next.
There's a period there.
Period.
That was it.
I think, Chris, I agree. I agree, and is how I would say. I think this movie is a 9 out of 10. Very good movie.
Oh.
Phenomenal movie. Can bruh sound effect on Chris right there. Yeah, what you had mentioned, the corporate stuff. I think honestly, they pack so much shit into this movie that's even only a quarter of what this movie is about, because there's so much shit about
there's a lot going on in this
AI, movie. People being lazy. There's so much crazy ahead of its time stuff in this movie. Obviously there's the By and Large stuff everywhere.
Great name, by the way. Great name for a company, By and Large.
There's so much packed into this movie that I hope we talk about it all. But I would say
it take a lot of
in terms of the issues that humanity faced, that's 1 out of 5 that drove them into everything. It's crazy, dude. It's such a good movie.
They hit all the marks.
That isn't even my favorite part. My favorite part is obviously Wall-E and Eve and their chemistry, even though they have 2 lines of dialogue.
Yeah, they don't say much at all.
It's phenomenal. It's great. Actually, if you watch this movie and you put the subtitles on, a lot of their little emotes, they subtitle.
I
did that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Why did you say that a week ago before I watched it?
So I just found that out.
Yeah,
I watch everything with subtitles.
Yeah, you should watch everything with subtitles, you fool.
Honestly, I disagree with that, but 9 out of 10. I'll let someone else talk.
It's just because you can't read. That's why I said.
I'll go next. I would probably. I'd probably
I'm reclaiming my illiteracy.
I refuse to learn to read. I'm gonna live like Wall-E.
I want to be deliterate.
I love this movie. I ever since I was a kid, I remember watching this movie in the drive-in and loving it then.
That's where I watched it too.
I have a great fondness of this movie, and like Sam said, I think for the fact it came out in 2008, especially, they were pretty aware of what the problems humanity was going to deal with as technology advances. It was pretty. I mean, I don't want to say accurate, because obviously we're not at any point like that yet, but it's pretty right on what is going on. And there's so many things the choice to not have your main characters talk, communicate verbally through, other than a couple names, I think they say, and Eve says a couple words here and there, directive. It makes it super interesting to watch them try to do things. My only complaint is that I wish this movie was longer, honestly. I actually wish there was more to watch. I want to see more of it. But and it's very quick. It doesn't feel long. It's 2 hours. You don't even feel like it. It feels like an hour and a half.
An hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not even 2 hours. Yeah.
The credits started at an hour and a half in.
Yeah.
It's not even an hour 40.
Literally, I wish there was more of this movie. That's the only thing I could say about it. I said that I think it's an 8 out of 10, right? Yeah, that's it then. That's all. 8 out of 10. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I love this movie. But
you said it was a 2?
Just say you hate it.
Yeah. It's a 3. Yeah, it's a 3. So no, 8 out of 10.
Cole. By the way, is that a Reese's hat?
That's
It's By and Large.
That's a By and Large hat.
I'm oranged out right now. I don't know what
Reese's dude.
He chose a shitty color.
Yeah,
Reese's in a cup.
But yeah, I feel like you guys are gonna disagree with me on some of the stuff I'm gonna say, but I do like this movie. I'm gonna preface it with that. I'm gonna give it a 7. I definitely don't like it as much as Nate and Sam. I guess. Yeah, you could say that. But yeah, I don't know. Some parts in the beginning to me were slow. I didn't really get.
That's the best part of the movie. That part is so good.
We're gonna have to disagree on that. I didn't really get invested until at least halfway through. That's me. But I mean, the best part is just Wall-E as a character, though. I mean, he's just so likable. He kind of carries the
He's
movie.
a little guy. He's a silly little guy.
He's a
Yeah,
goofball.
he's a little.
He's a little goofball.
But yeah, a lot of the stuff, like the future stuff, was cool. It was a little like on the nose and just like in your face. But I guess they kind of had to do that because to get that point across for kids.
I was just gonna say, like, people still don't believe like in a lot of this shit today. That's the only thing I wanted to say. Like, so if you think it's on the nose, like, and people still don't like take this shit seriously. So, what can you say about that?
Disagree with what you said, Cole, about it being in your face. I really don't think it is at all. I think they do a pretty good job of like stays its welcome enough to where the movie doesn't feel preachy. I
don't think it's preachy.
I think it's a love story first.
But like you look at the amount of trash and the fact that it's like over top of every single building and every single inch of the planet is covered in trash, and then all of humanity can't walk anymore. Like, it's
well, I think that's why it's like 600 years in the future. You got to remember it's not like 30 years.
Yeah.
It's 600.
I don't know how that even happens on Earth, because they would have had to bring material from outside of Earth into Earth in order for it to get so crowded.
Not
like
in the future. They can invent. They can do it.
Well, they can't get materials off of Earth unless they left Earth. That's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they would have had to, like, because it doesn't make sense from like, like there are everything that's been made by people has come from stuff that was already on Earth. So it's not like they can overproduce. Like, they would have to produce nothing but non-renewable goods or non-decomposable goods for like.
Yeah, I just assumed that at some point they came up with like some way to have endless energy.
It was just like a weird. I was thinking about that like
it didn't make
an
sense
hour ago,
sure.
and I was like, wait a minute, how did like from like a thermodynamics
it's definitely
perspective?
exaggerated.
Yeah,
yeah, and I mean that kind of stuff. It doesn't bother me because it's for kids, but if this was like for an older audience, I think that would be a little more annoying. Just how over the top everything is. But yeah, I mean, I like this movie. I'm sure we'll get more into it later. Just probably not as much as you guys. But yeah, a 7. So like, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Well then, to bookend it, this is another one of those movies that has been a very long time since I've seen it. I didn't see it in theaters. I think I saw it like on DVD, like probably 2008, 2009. And like Avatar, I also played the PSP game for this.
I didn't know there was a game for
there
this.
was a Wall-E game?
Wow, what?
I missed out.
It's probably the best game ever made.
No, it's probably bad.
I don't remember it like at all. But,
based off vibes, it's bad.
You were like you were making like little trash cubes and like, just place them around. It was like a platformer.
It sounds like good vibes to me. I don't know what Chris is talking about. Chris doesn't like the environment, is what I've learned.
But yeah, I like this movie quite a bit upon rewatch. It's obviously there's like the very pertinent and like predictive, commentary about, the environment, the way that we as humans treat the environment. Also, like on demand, everything being taken care of, like automation, like the fact that, all the people are like not self-sufficient at all. And they have a higher ratio of like body fat than bone, like they're these little goobers.
Yeah,
they're friend shaped. They're little guy shaped. They're friends.
Also, to like the corporatocracy that's in place, like the
corporatocracy. That's a word.
Yeah,
like, a big word.
Because like
it isn't a word.
$5 word.
It is a word, but like
oligarchy is probably the right word. But yeah,
no, because
it's a form of oligarchy.
No, because by and large, it's like the leader of humanity at this point, even though they're just a corporation. Because like he's giving those State of the Union addresses, even though
that's true. He's the president.
He's not the like government president. He's the president of a corporation. So
Cheney.
But like it's obviously predictive now how much corporations have a stranglehold on the world. But honestly, like more than anything, this is a love story. Mm-hmm. Pretty much that's the through line of this movie. And Wall-E, is kind of like. Something I was like noticing upon, and like we're like leading into our greater discussion, is like how he's kind of like representative of humanity. I think he's more to me like
he's definitely the working class.
He's
like
the working
class.
He's more of like a human than like a robot.
I think all the robots are.
Because like he doesn't really care about the directive, like the overall like goal of this movie, which is to like get the plant and get everybody back home. He doesn't really care about that. He just wants to be with Eve.
He wants the girl. Yeah. And he's got Riz too. Like
I
don't forget
He
know.
about
wants to,
I
him. He's
know.
crazy.
Would like to submit this to the
Wait,
council here.
what's John's
Is
rating?
yeah,
Oh,
what's your
Sam,
rating?
Sam,
John?
give me a scale.
From
by and large to
We'll s-
Walmart.
Oh man, Chris really put me on the spot here. Shoot. From what was the wheel guy's name?
Otto, because he's autopilot.
From Otto to Manuel. What's your rating?
Oh, it would definitely be the Wall A. Those like big
Oh,
Wallies
yeah.
at the end. Wall A. It would be
Yeah,
Wall A.
Wallies, the
Wall-E.
big Wallies.
Hell yeah.
Okay, who was gonna talk? I forget. Before
Yeah, I
before
would
we
like
did
to
the rating.
submit this. Is Wally? Is he a literally me character? Is Wally's
He's
literally me?
he's absolutely a Sigma.
Wally
Well,
is
I don't know.
literally
It's literally me.
Hold on.
He's too kind.
I
He
would
can't
like to
a
be like
Sigma.
Wally.
He's not detached.
I gotta
But he,
push
like-
back on that a little
He
bit.
like fucks up all the time and then
Wally
just
isn't literally you.
completely falls in love with the first girl he ever
Yeah, but he's not a
meets.
Sigma.
Yes,
Literally me.
Wally
He's got a little bug friend.
Wally kind of full on. He like simps on her a little too hard. I feel like he's kind of like
Does.
he was kind of a bit too much of a simp until like I feel like he grew up a little when he decided to like say like forget me and focus on the plant. I feel like he had some growth there.
Dude was alone
He
on
cared about
Earth by
something else.
himself for like decades or like
Hundreds of
centuries
years.
or whatever the
Bug,
fuck.
bro.
The original
had
image of
bug
I'm
this,
guy.
simping for the first girl I see too. Like, what do you
the
mean?
original image of this has the white text, like the meme text that says the one simp I respect on it. It's
Yeah.
literally just Wally.
He is a
There we go.
respectable simp.
Yeah.
Dude,
'cause
yeah,
he
it's
like,
like
wakes up in the morning and he's like
He's a silly
groggy.
guy.
He, like trying to put on his like shoes and he can't. He's like fucking.
John, he's more like Denji. Like he's like a Denji character.
sorta, yeah. He brings
Yeah,
her
he's-
back to his house. Is like, look at all this stuff that I like. Here's my
Look at all my little crickets.
here's my
Look
Rubik's
at that.
cube. Like,
Look at my
I'm
bug
not. I'm not.
look look at my bug collection.
Don't kill my roach. Don't.
Yeah. Dude, when he hands her the fucking the tape and she pulls it out and he's like, ah!
No,
Grabs
my
it and, like,
favorite
is the-
part is when he enters the Rubik's Cube, he turns around and she did it and he goes, "Duh!" That's my favorite part. He goes, I like when
Yeah,
he does
he's
the
so
little,
sick.
when he's flirting with her and he does the little like eye thing, like he moves his eyebrows. And it's supposed to,
Yeah.
that's what it's supposed to look
Dude,
like.
he knows. He's got the look.
He's got the Riz, dude. He was rizzing her up with the little, you know? He is the original Riz Lord. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
He's a Riz bot.
Yeah, that's his directive.
She was like, "What's his directive?" And he was like, "You."
Taking you to dinner.
No, but I wanted to talk about this because Cole's a fucking shit-eating motherfucker. That first
Whoa.
like 15 minutes of this movie is one of the best parts to any movie ever. Like yeah, everybody talks about like Up's like opening where it's just like
I haven't
within.
seen it.
I think it's like shut up. It's like 10 minutes. Everybody knows the first 10 minutes of Up.
I
The
do.
10 minutes
Yeah,
of Up
I
where
do.
they establish. That's the whole movie. That's all you need to see. The first 10 minutes where it
Yeah, that's
establishes
all
that.
I've seen.
Yeah.
a love story, and then
Yeah.
she dies, and it's so much emotion. One thing,
What-
like you really know Wally, a robot who doesn't even speak, so well in those 10 minutes. I don't even know if it is 10 minutes, and you learn so much about him, and you like him already before. And he, like I said, he doesn't talk. You just watch him, like find his little trinkets and stuff, and play with a bra. Like
Now, I'll ask
Brings
you.
his lunchbox to work.
he does. Like he's just a little guy, dude.
I'll ask you, Cole.
It's literally me.
How much of a fan are you of like completely like visual storytelling and like that kind
I
of?
could tell he's not. Yeah,
director?
I thought the same thing. Like,
Well, I don't think that's the issue. I think it's like I
think it
didn't
is.
see this movie when I was a kid, so I didn't care about Wally as a character, and they didn't
Nah.
make me care. Like I didn't feel like I cared about him until like halfway through the movie. And
I
that's when
think
started,
that's
like,
crazy because
really
I think
liking
they
it.
make you care about him right away. Like that's what that whole part is
all,
about.
all
is
of
you're
the
like,
empathy that I had stored in me for Wally was like from 2008 was completely gone as of yesterday. But watching this movie now, like I'm back full on Wally. Like
I forget
within
what
the
it
first
was.
like 5 minutes.
Like I
And-
thought he was
it's a wild
cute, but
take,
that
yeah.
was like
And if you had
know.
never watched, like, if you didn't know where the story goes, the first time you watch it, you're like, is this going to be the whole movie? Like, is it just going to be these robots, like, doing stuff? And then they go into space and it completely changes as a movie. Like,
This movie
Yeah.
is incredibly well paced for how short it is and how much they pack into it. Because it feels like a 2 hour, 2.5 hour movie. It doesn't drag on,
Not
and they get
really.
it done in like an hour and a half.
I get what
It
you're
feels
saying.
like
Like, it has
so
it has
much
the
the amount of
it has
content.
it
He's
has
saying
the amount of
content.
content. Yeah,
It's so much happens in this movie.
Well, I mean, like, I don't really think so. I think it definitely feels pretty brisk all the way around in terms of like the events that happen. But I don't know. That might just be me.
When I watched this,
Well,
I had the
I
same
think you're not
reaction.
getting what he means. I
No,
think
I know what I know what he means.
Yeah,
like-
it's like I thought this movie was 2 hours, and then I like clicked on it, and I was like, holy shit, it's an hour and a half.
It went by really quick. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, how'd they get through all that so quickly? Like, there's so I don't remember all the. I don't think like. Do the humans have names? I don't remember like the humans' names.
The
in
one guy's name is John.
And
I-
Mary.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh
say.
yeah, it's like really simple names.
Mary
That's
and
like
John.
John made an appearance.
that's like one of the best parts
that's me.
is because even to those people, Wally's so likable. Like he just shows up for a second and he like gets them. I think he just accidentally shuts the lady's like camera off, and then like she's like, "Whoa, wait, like." We have a pool. I think
We have
that's
a
literally what
Yeah.
she says because they're so caught up on the screen.
She looks out the window. She doesn't even realize like they're in space.
in space, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
It's,
they've
like,
been
the
on the
most obvious
computer
shit.
screen. Even as babies, they're just put in a room and just showed a computer
Yeah.
screen, so they don't actually know anything about the outside world. That's all they
B
know.
is for by and large, your very best friend. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that part.
Yeah.
There was other funny
Yeah.
jokes. I wish I was remembering them now. With
Yeah, it's a bit. I feel a little bit meta sitting in a chair talking to my friends on a
on a
voice
computer screen,
screen.
yeah,
We're talking
What-
about people doing that.
doing exactly that.
Nate's got the cup with the
The
shot.
by and large cup.
Yeah.
But
Lunch in a cup.
that's my favorite part. They're drinking lunch in a cup. Like, what? I don't
Yeah.
even know where they got that from. Like, that's the thing too. With like 700 years past, the whole time I was wondering, like, how the fuck did they survive that long? Like, what did they do?
I
I
think-
want to know like the science behind them, like living that long. Because obviously it's fake, but I just want to know in like real life, like, would you like even have bones anymore? Like, or would you just be like a ball of flesh at that point?
If you look at the dates of the captains, they live to be like 125.
Oh,
The
really?
dates
I
that
was
are
trying to
apart,
look at
yeah.
that.
Mm,
I like
Yeah,
that they
I
get
don't-
fatter.
yeah.
They get fatter as the years go down. Like they
Yeah.
just get bigger and bigger, and then
But
Otto gets.
didn't they
closer
say
and
like the
closer.
anti-gravity like fuck with their bones?
Yeah,
or
that's what
whatever?
they
Yeah.
lowered their bone structure.
But
that's what I
also
was-
like
yeah.
they
Yeah.
clearly had like artificial gravity, so like wouldn't that
Yeah.
not be a thing?
would that
They talked
counteract it?
about-
I don't know.
I mean, they had exercise stuff there. They had the jogging track and the
They
golf.
don't use it. They have a pool and they don't even know it. They have
They have
virtual
robot
golf,
golfers to
remember?
do it for them.
Yeah.
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 I like all the robots in this. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I think that was like a
Yeah.
kind of an obvious thing with all the robots in this movie is that they were like, because they were the ones doing all the work. They're the workers throughout the whole movie, and they're the ones with personality. It's all the robots that have personalities until they take the people off the screens. Like as soon as they get off the screens and like actually pay attention to their lives, they actually as soon as they do that, they make connections with people. Because is it Mary that turns off John's computer screen? I can't remember now, or does his come off at a different
No.
time?
Wally like bumps into it. Remember, he tries to give Wally his cup, trash.
Oh,
He, like,
yeah.
falls out of it.
Yeah, he's the one that falls out. That's who he was. Yeah, and as soon as they like actually make connections with other people, and I like one of my favorite characters. I want to say this now is the captain because
Yeah.
even though he's like in the
Mhm.
same situation as the rest of them, he the whole time is like, I want to do something. He's like, I'm gonna do the announcements because the only thing I get to do every day. So the importance of like doing stuff. Yeah, I don't know how to describe that.
being
as like
not being like a bystander in your own life. I suppose.
yeah, being active in your own
being
life.
being
present.
being
Yeah.
proactive.
Yeah, there's like purpose to be found in like doing things.
Yeah.
But you see that with the robots when they have like a task to do or like a function or something. They're the people who have personality and like goals and stuff.
But I think it's
And-
also good that it doesn't only focus on the task, you know, like they have like Wally
Yeah,
is supposed
yeah.
to collect trash, but he takes trash home. He's not just throwing it away.
Yeah,
that's
oh,
where, like,
there
he
was
derives
a
his
really
interest
good-
from.
There was a really good quote from the captain. I don't want to survive. I want to live. That's what I
Yeah.
was trying to
Yeah.
trying to remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts. I don't want to survive. I want to live. This is how you live. This is how you will live. Otto's a real dick the whole movie.
Speaking of the robots, go.
I think it's a very funny, like on the nose thing that the villain about like living your life on autopilot is a the
steering
ship being
wheel?
steered on autopilot, and that's why they call him Otto.
That didn't
It's
occur
pretty-
to
I think
me
it's very
until
cute.
like the very end when he turned off autopilot. I was like, oh, that's the actual like steering wheel of the ship. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, well, if you don't realize it, that's why it's all tilted, is because he spun
Yeah.
and tilted it, and that's why they got to turn it. I also think it's funny. Oh wait, Chris, you go ahead first.
Yeah.
This is just a stupid joke.
Well, I
so
was
go
gonna
ahead.
say something stupid, but
So is mine, so don't worry.
Well, okay, so like that, the robots in this movie, like I know from watching TikTok that like they can mimic AI pretty well. Like you can mimic like a real person really well from me watching Donald Trump and Joe Biden play Minecraft.
Yeah.
But in this movie,
Voice.
700 years in the future, you're telling me they don't have better AI voice? Is that what you're saying? I
Well,
don't
they
think
didn't know that
that's-
at the time.
they didn't know that.
That's one thing they missed.
I have a plot hole, Chris. Movie sucks.
All right, Chris, you convinced me. It's
Donald
bad.
Trump never got to be president by that time. So.
I would like
Yeah.
to say also, this is a fucking
Yeah.
beautiful movie. Like this whole movie,
Yeah.
even for 2008, like is gorgeous. Like every part of
Yeah.
it.
There's a surprising amount of like foreshadowing in this. I was thinking, you got me thinking about the scenes in space, and like when he's on Earth, he starts playing with the fire extinguisher,
Oh, yeah.
and that's how he
Yeah.
knows what to use later. Like a surprising amount of like detail. Like this movie's phenomenal.
It's so
Movie
good,
is not
especially for how
edited.
short. Like I said, it's concise. Like everything
Getting
just goes.
back because like I had mentioned earlier about like the visual storytelling and like the lack of dialogue for a good chunk of the movie. Something that Pixar has always been really good at, and it's present here in this movie, is like they're really good at visual storytelling specifically for the process of someone doing something. I always think back to like in Toy Story 2 whenever that guy comes in to repair Woody.
And he's cleaning Woody,
And it's like
yeah.
these very intricate shots of him
Yeah.
like stitching the arm back on and like polishing his hair and his boots.
And all the Pixar shorts too are really good at visual
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, and there's a ton of that in this. Of Wall-E, like
they're really good at like showing the details of things, like the
Like-
little things you would think to overlook.
Yeah,
There-
there's a ton of those little details because that's what like half of the robot's jobs are, is just the menial details.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
little
one guy's
jobs.
job is to literally scrub floors. Like that's just his whole
that guy.
life.
That guy ruled.
I love Mo.
Best character.
Mo.
Yeah, that
he's
guy
the
Best
ruled.
character.
when he gets stuck in he's like taunting them down because he wants to get... Well, I love that he's the one that like at first like stay on track with the other robots, like he won't let him get
Yeah.
off the track, and then when he sees the dirt he's like, I gotta get it, and he goes and chases them,
No,
and whatever,
Who
he
was-
saves them in the end by the doors. That's so funny to
Yeah.
me because he's
Who-
like, fuck, he's coming at him full speed.
who was saying that Wall-E isn't a Sigma? Because
He's not a Sigma.
no, he's a Sigma. Because when
He
you
is
get,
not a Sigma.
No,
I don't think
no.
you guys know what a Sigma is.
No,
like,
no,
you guys
no,
are completely
no.
off the wall
No.
wrong with what a Sigma
No.
is. A Sigma.
Stop it.
All right,
No.
let's look at Ryan Gosling characters, then look at Wally. You're gonna say that's a
no,
Sigma?
because
Like, come on
Wall-E
now.
gets on the ship and Mo comes up to clean him, and he's like 100% dirty, and then he cleans up the spot, and then Wall-E looks at where he cleaned it, put his little track back on, and smudged it up again.
Yeah.
He cleaned it, and he did
He's
it
a
again.
goofball. He's not a
He's a
Sigma.
Sigma.
Then
goofball.
he looks at Mo or whatever his name is and just does it on his face.
He's not a Sigma. He's like the furthest
Are you
thing from a
kidding me?
Sigma.
This movie
I don't know
is
or care like what the definition of
legitimately
Sigma is.
funny. Like this movie, like
Yeah, it's
I
not a
legitimately was
privilege.
laughing like every other scene. Like there are some really like in terms of
When
like
the
slapstick comedy and
captain
like
stands up.
visual comedy. So
Burr.
good, dude.
Burner.
Yeah.
Burner. That's so funny to me.
Even when he looks at the book, he's like, "Operate Manuel. Manuel, operate."
He's
Yeah.
so funny when he tricks Otto with the picture, and he's just
Yeah.
he's not even holding the shoe. It's so funny to me.
Even like this scene back here, I was dying laughing at that.
Yeah, it's like
There was a lot of funny scenes right at the beginning with him just like fucking with like little toys and stuff, but I can't think of it now.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, he's got the
I mean,
the
Sam's
spork scene.
background.
He's looking at the he has the spork and he doesn't know whether to put it in the fork.
Oh
bucket
yeah, the
or
fork or the
bucket.
spoon. He puts it in the middle. He goes,
Yeah. Or what do when he runs over the cockroach? and
yeah,
he thinks he
and
killed him.
killed it. When I don't remember what the little Otto's little helper's name was.
Oh
It was
yeah.
like Badger or something.
Fuck
Something like
that
an animal.
guy.
It was like an animal. Yeah, he's a dick. But my
Yeah,
favorite
some
part is
dweeb.
I would've-
when he's fighting the wheel and it's like swinging him around. He comes out and he goes, ah! And he starts coming at him. And he just smacks him out the window.
Dude, when that guy dies,
you literally see him die.
It's
like,
so blunt and like matter of fact. He just squashes onto the ground, and
it tricks you. It tricks you because you think he's gonna land in the pool because it shows you the pool, and then he falls just short and fucking explodes.
It is so just like blunt with the way it happens. It's like holy shit.
You could tell they wanted to put a real person there. We're like, we can't do that, so we're just gonna let this robot get murdered.
There's another robot murder when he's like, "Don't splash in the pool," and they like throw water.
Dude,
no, you made me another joke that's really funny. When it's one of the best scenes when they're out in space dancing, and then they go. Eva takes him back in, and then the door shuts behind her. But there was another robot out there working, and he's like,
"Oh, he's
what
dead
the fuck?"
too."
And he like turns around and like sits against the wall. He's like, "What the fuck am I gonna do?" They just left that robot stuck out there.
Yeah, there's so many good jokes in this movie. Even when Eva he teaches her how to dance and she spins. It hits him, and you get the shot from outside, and he puts the big ass dent in the fucking loader.
That I want to say,
bouncing up and down on the floor really
and
loud,
shaking
and,
the whole thing,
everything.
One of my favorite things about this movie is the soundtrack is so good. Like the music is so good throughout and it's like Pixar, like of course, but that Define dancing, both the scene and the sound, that song is like one of the best part. Like I could watch that part all over, and like when they're dancing outside the ship, and the captain is asking the computer all the questions, like learning about life and learning what it was like to be alive, like actually alive and stuff. And he's like, Define dancing while they're outside spinning around the ship it's like my favorite scene in the movie. I can't ever get over that. That was always the one that stuck with me since I was a kid.
I honestly think for me, like my favorite, at least visually, was like when they're actually like getting to the ship, like when he leaves Earth for the first time. Earth. I didn't remember that part, but that was like really, really like cool.
Like when
they're like
he's
next to
flying away, or like
when he's
trying to get to the ship.
Like when he's like getting as Eve is leaving Earth, he like latches onto the ship.
Okay. I was gonna say, dude, it was just when the parts when he's like booking it to the ship, and like the way that he like runs and like all that movement. The way that that's animated, it's like a combination of him bouncing on the terrain and like the sharp robot movements. It looks so good. Like that was like this. It's like a chase scene almost, and it's done really well. Anyway, I think I interrupted both Nate and Cole. So
mine's I don't even remember what I was gonna say now. So
well, yeah, I was just gonna say I thought it was cool how they included like the space junk surrounding the Earth.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure when he was like hanging on the spaceship and they were leaving, I think that was like Sputnik. That was like stuck to him when he was trying to leave. I don't know if anybody caught that.
Oh, really?
No, I did not.
I think so.
Well, they saw
I thought that was cool.
They saw the like the first space landing on the moon. They fly past that.
I didn't see that either. I didn't remember that. I probably just like missed it. But I was gonna say one of my like, how cute is the part whenever Eve is shut down for when they find the plant. Sorry, my eyes were fucking tired. But and then she like just shuts down. I don't know why she just like shuts down like that and turns into the little egg. And then he just like carries her around and takes her on dates and is like trying to take care of her. And he tries to like take her outside. Oh, I don't know why he leaves her outside in the rain. Like he could just took her inside. But he keeps putting umbrellas over her because they're both like really hot. He keeps getting shot with lightning, and he's like, ah.
Oh, yeah, he gets shot by lightning, but then at the end when he gets like
he gets zapped in the heart,
in his heart. His little circuit board got fried.
Yeah, but why would the lightning do that? Not multiple lightning bolts. When he tries to hold her hand and then it slams shut on his hand, he's like,
dude, he is just like me. Like holding a girl's hand is scary.
He's literally me, dude. At the very end, when she's holding his hand and he comes back alive, and he's like, Eva, and then he looks at the hand. He like shows her that she's holding his hand. He's like, Eva, are you sure?
Look at this.
Yeah,
that is so sad when you think he lost his personality at the end. There.
That would have been honestly like a good ending too if they did follow through with that. Like
that would have been a gut punch.
That would have been sad.
That would have hurt.
It would be hard to end it like that because then like.
But I could see it working.
Just trying to make people sad for no reason, I don't think makes something better. You know, if anything, I feel like it would hurt it. If you're just like, wow, this is sad at the end.
Well, no, because it's tragic. Because like
there has to be a meaning behind
like he sacrificed himself. Like, what did he do specifically though?
If he sacrificed himself, there have to just be a little more. You'd have to give him more time to it. Like, you couldn't just end it there. Then that's why I feel like they have to wrap it up with a better ending there. If they want to end it like right then, they have to change it. They have to have him come back. But I do think it's a really cool at the end whenever they're planting the tree or the green thing or the plant they found, and they're like all excited, and then it zooms out, and then there's like just a bunch of greenery. They just didn't go over the hill yet.
I think that's supposed to be like a time lapse.
I didn't think it was.
I
thought it was supposed to be like
that's like a time lapse.
I didn't think it was a time lapse.
I thought it was funny.
I think it was just more than they like. It's been 700 years, but like Wally's only cleaning up trash, so we didn't see that.
They were like planted in.
Well,
rows.
Eve was looking everywhere though.
Yeah, Eve went all
Eve
over
was
the,
looking
all
everywhere.
over the place.
Only in the city though. She didn't leave the city yet.
That would be kind
I
of.
didn't think it was a time lapse.
I do want to.
I mean, look, if that was a time lapse, I think that was
I
kind
don't
of
think
a
she
weird
would
way to show it.
conveniently miss that entire field of plants. If that was
I don't know.
that was her
mean,
directive to be
if
there.
it was a time lapse, it was kind of weird how they did it. Then
I'd have to watch it again.
I thought it was really funny.
All it did was zoom out. Like, why would that just be a
I have
time
to
lapse?
see it again. I don't know.
Yeah, all it did was zoom out, and
Yeah,
then there
we'll
was
have
just
to
a
watch
bunch
it
of
again.
plants growing.
But
I mean, maybe because I
thought it was
put
funny.
in a row.
I think it
I
was
thought it was
just
funny
supposed
when
to
the
show that it's
captain-
working.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So no, go ahead, Cole. I just
Yeah,
want to get
yeah.
that.
No, I was just gonna say
Cole
when
deserves
they
a
land and the captain's like showing like how you
shut
grow
up.
plants or whatever or how to water them and he's like one day we'll have pizza plants.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, now I'm really
I-
curious because I can't remember. Because at the end, they do show them like reforming and stuff.
Yeah,
in the credits.
I think that
Watch
was
them.
there because it is a legitimate gamble of like, are these like 900-pound like people who
No,
are
probably
just
not.
body fat
I mean, if we're gonna be honest, they're
actually
probably
going to be able
die.
to survive?
They're probably gonna die as soon as they walk onto the earth.
Well,
'cause they're-
however
they're-
they were,
I think that
however
was
they were
just to
getting
show that they're
nutrients
gonna
before, they
survive.
still do on Earth, right? Like they still have that super technology,
Hover
right?
thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they'll be
they can
fine.
go full
Yeah.
cyborg.
Well, the movie makes it seem like they're gonna be okay, so I assume they're gonna
Yeah,
be okay.
I think
Yeah.
it was just to
So,
add closure.
The song at the end was nice and happy, so they're happy.
Shout out Peter Gabriel.
Ended on a positive note. So
So am I the only one that thought it was kind of weird? I guess we're talking about the plants, obviously. That like the plant, the plant in the boot that they find at the beginning was inside of
Was it a
like
fridge?
a dark fridge. Could he have
He was just
could,
throwing
could
it
he
out.
have could he have found it anywhere else though? Because like it's inside of like a fridge.
Well,
We don't
What
know
does
how
this
long
mean?
it was there, and there's
That-
no light shining on it for it to grow.
there's a couple things, and it's a
That
bit
is
of
a
a
bit of a
catch-22,
plot hole.
I think.
it is a bit of a plot hole there.
It would need to be sheltered to survive the dust storm, and also the dust storm could have blown the door shut.
Well,
So that,
May-
Those
I think that's
things don't
overthinking
really
it. I
work
think that's
simultaneously.
overthinking a little bit because I think there's the plot hole of the fact that
It's
like
not
they
like
were
a
like
big deal. I'm just like
they were like
wondering.
we need proof of photosynthesis, and then it was like in a dark refrigerator. Like so, like how is it proof
Yeah.
of like long term
Also-
photosynthesis if it was like in a refrigerator?
My head
Also,
canon
the
is
plant
that the door blew
survived.
shut.
Yeah,
That's all I was
no, I
gonna
like
say.
that theory. I like that theory. But also, the plant was like floating in space like freely for a couple seconds, and I feel like that would have killed it also. But
oh
yeah.
yeah, the
I mean,
plant and
people
Wally
do
should have
that.
died like
You
20
could survive in
times.
space for like 10 seconds.
And well, also it's a robot, Cole or Chris. That was Chris that said that. Like Chris,
he survived passing by the sun, so like he can survive
He's a-
anything.
Yeah, he's
he's
kind
a
of a
tough
tank.
little guy.
He's
He's,
a
a tough
Sigma.
little guy.
Yeah.
Not a
Dude, I
Sigma.
like the
He's,
little like
so far
Windows
from the Sigma.
startup sound that when he gets fully charged.
It's the Macintosh startup sound.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That is what it is.
Yeah, because in the credits at the end, there's like special thanks, and one of them is Steve Jobs. So
the Mac, yeah.
Steve Jobs alive in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember when he died. Who cares?
2000,
Like,
2010 or 11.
Kind of a dick.
I forget what's good. Yeah, Steve
He
Jobs.
was
Is
kind of a dick.
What? Okay, because
Steve Jobs is like a known
slandering
dick.
Steve Jobs.
Get on
He
the
was-
soapbox real quick.
It's like well known that he
20
was
minute
mean to
discussion
like
on
all of his
Steve Jobs.
coworkers.
Yeah, he was a dick, and I'm pretty sure he stole a lot of like. I don't want to say I like stole a lot of credit from other people. Like that's what he did, or stole inventions even.
If you
Mark
possess
Epic rap
more than
battles
$1
of history
billion,
are to be trusted.
you're a dick.
Yeah,
Like,
but also
that's
you're
just-
a billionaire. You're a piece of shit. So
Like,
Yeah,
that's
I
when-
mean,
that's
he
when you
probably didn't
become-
have $1
that's
billion
when you become a dick.
liquid, but
he's
Yeah.
still a
Same
piece
thing.
He owned one
That'd
of
be
the biggest
sick, though.
companies in the world. He's probably
Yeah,
Who
that'd
cares
be
if it's
had
liquid? That's
$1 billion liquid. That'd be pretty sick.
You don't
That'd
need
be
it
actually
physically.
hard.
You don't
If
need
you
it.
kept it in, like, a big
We're
room.
talking about a dystopian future movie about a
$1
guy who owns
bills.
$1 billion company.
Why do
like-
you think the old president was like a real person and not animated? Like, is
I don't
there
know,
some
but I
sort
thought
of?
it was
I thought he was
significance?
animated. It was
No,
just really
it was,
well animated.
No, it's a
I
person.
thought
Was it?
There were other scenes with real people.
Oh,
Yeah, like
really?
all the old people were real.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I don't know.
I thought it was just super well animated. And I was like, wow, that looks insanely
it
good.
could be to show the juxtapose, like, you know, what people used to look like versus
Yeah.
what they've morphed into now. That's actually kind of like
the future
clever.
will be animated.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be animated people. I don't know.
I
Animated
get what you're
people
saying
look
there,
like
John,
in the
yeah.
universe. Since the real people are animated.
It is
animated
funny
people
whenever
are-
they like show like why they don't want to go back, and it's like him. He's just like, look, it didn't fucking work out the way we thought it would. We gave it a try. It's like 10 years later. He's like, we gave it 10 years. We're done. I don't even think it was 10
Yeah.
years. It was like a year, and he was like, we're giving up. It didn't work out like we thought it would.
Why did they have to leave Earth other than they couldn't grow anything?
They were gonna die otherwise. It was like see, that's the thing too. It was by and large was sending a group, like a large group, to survive just in case while they tried to
Yeah.
save the
But
Earth.
they had the technology to like make make the energy, like make the food for hundreds of years to come. So why'd they have to leave Earth?
I think
I'm gonna be
Yeah. I
honest,
think it
because
was
with the
the waste
technology
thing.
they had, they probably could have got away with doing a lot of other shit. But it makes
Yeah,
it
they could do whatever they wanted.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very bizarre.
That's one thing if you think about it too
Yeah,
much.
I
It's
don't
like, so they had enough technology to do all of it, but it's also like, did technology develop in the 700 years that they were up there?
Yeah, they
Because,
could've
like,
figured some shit
originally-
out.
Originally they weren't fat and lazy like that, so they could have been like working on stuff and changing technology. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't fucking know. I didn't live there. I wasn't
Yeah,
around
they-
for 700 years.
It might send like Eves to other planets to harvest stuff that they can turn into food. Like it could be that. Like I don't know. There's a bunch of weird shit that could be happening.
it could have maybe something to do like how we had talked about before, of just like being a bystander and, you know, letting things get so bad before you can actually do anything about it. Like, you know, the climate and, you know, pollution issues get so bad and the waste gets so bad on Earth that before you even know it, you know, we're too far gone and we just have to go. Like, this becomes the reality. So
That's a possibility.
The-
Like we
the
could
climate
have to
would
leave
make
Earth
sense,
in the
but
future.
they
That's a
kind
possibility.
of just
That's like, that is
kind
a
of just
real
mentioned that
possibility.
it's the movie. It's not really mentioned that it's like it would make sense if it got too hot. Then like nothing could survive.
Yeah.
Then they just
Yeah.
had to wait and give it like 1,000 years.
Well, it's
But
clearly
they just talk about it being over like just
Well,
over trashed. Like too
I
much
think that
waste.
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
implied that it is kind of like hotter and like because it's a desert. It's kind of like a desert where they're at. Like it's why there's dust
'cause
everywhere. And
it's in North
sand.
America too. Like
It's actually near Pennsylvania. If you pay attention, they mark
I
where
was
they're
looking
gonna
at the
land,
map.
and it's near Pennsylvania. It's in Pittsburgh. It could be. It looks like Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It looks like Pittsburgh right now.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's
that's what it
literally
looks
me.
like right now. Yeah.
But I think it's actually super fun to talk about. Like, so I think a lot of the point is like you keep talking about how it's about being like active and not a bystander and that stuff. It's more like I'm trying to think of the word is complacent
Yeah.
with what we have and like it's just like if your needs are met, is that enough? It's like and it taught like I think it's important to talk about how this movie talks about like work a lot like specifically with the robots. Like the robots, some of them are just okay with working, but specifically as soon as they hear the music that Wally's listening to, they like rally to like fight back and like do stuff. Like the crazy robots all come and help him.
Effective ones.
My favorite one, I want to say, is the massage one. Like it's too aggressive, and they like he's like locked up, and they let him out, and he's like and just beats the shit out of them all. And then when it goes to another scene, and then it comes back, and he's just like standing on a mile, like a mound of their corpses. And then one time they get up, and he's like, and one time they get up, he just knocks them back down. He's like, and it's so funny to me. But yeah, there's clearly like a allegory with like back to like there's more to life than working, but also like you have to put the work in. Like you have to care about shit like the environment. Like it's not just showing up every day and doing this, like doing your doing your directive, like what they do basically. Like even though Eve's directive is kind of to get the plant there.
I mean,
that's
there's the
what it ends up.
balance of like, you need to do something every day that is like, I don't know if work is probably not the right word for it, but you definitely can't just like sit around and like watch TV and masturbate every single day. It's
You
probably
have
all the
to,
people
well,
are
you have
doing
to
on
put
board.
in the work, I think is a good way to describe it, but it doesn't necessarily mean because it's clearly against corporations. Like the movie is not like, yeah, we love
Yeah.
working for corporations and being a slave all day to the big companies, but it's also saying like you have to put the work in. Like you can't just exist off of other shit. Like you have to. If we don't do things, it's just gonna go bad. You know.
And you should also sort of have a stake in what that corporation does as well. You know, like, is it what they do directly affects you as a person? I mean, like, you could like very sort of like
it's hard to find the words to
relevantly-
describe
I
it.
think a theme is like finding your purpose in life, like trying to figure out like what you're here on
Well,
Earth
I
to
think
do.
that's why they use the word directive specifically. Like they use
Yeah.
directive for
Yeah.
your purpose, you know.
Yeah.
Which is why Wally doesn't get it at first, even though he's like, I do trash, but he's like, that's not the only thing I
mean,
do.
waste
He's
Yeah,
like,
management.
exactly.
I mean, wait, yeah, Wally is actually a gangster, but no, like he actually,
a humble garbage man.
even when he says that, he's like, that's when he's like, look at all my trinkets and my toys and all my stuff. Like he does more than just his job. Like it's so weird to explain that. Like clear, like the robots are the ones who are mostly just caught up in work. Like they just do the job they're supposed to do. But then the people at this point are like the privileged people who just take
Caught up
what's
in
given to
leisure.
them. Yeah, and then they don't do anything else. Like I can't
you
think of a
think
good word. To
But
describe
even
it.
though they don't
They
want to do
actually-
anything else, I feel like they're not complacent. Like as soon as they're like, "Oh, we can go back to Earth," and they're like, "Bet," and then they're there. Like they're not happy with the lives they have.
That's just him though. But they have to have the computer taken away from them, so they
Yeah.
are complacent until they realize that there is
There's-
more.
They
Maybe.
handle that really well. That kind of like gray area where you need to exist, because all the robots that you like aren't just like straight up do my job, do nothing else, like
Yeah.
punch in, punch out, like just complete like.
You need to
robo
be
wage
more
cuts.
than a machine, you know, because that's the thing. They're robots, but they're not really
Yeah.
machines, you know. They're not just
Yeah.
machines doing. Even the big Wallies,
They have
they
emotion.
sit there and
Wall-E.
help
But
them. Wall-E's, yeah,
simultaneously,
they help
Yeah.
them when they find out. Sorry.
the opposite end of that spectrum
Voila.
of just like I want everything taken care of for me, so where I don't need to do anything at all isn't good for you either.
Yeah.
They do that really well, and
But
it's
I-
cool that they like flip that between like people and robots.
I think it's good too that when the humans are like, Chris was trying to say, whenever they have it taken away and they realize they can do stuff, like it's like I don't know how to think and describe it, because when you're why I use the word complacent specifically, when you're sitting around all day eating junk food and this and that, it feels impossible to do anything. Like it's so easy to get caught in that rut. But then you just get up one day and you do it, and it might be hard to do it consistently, but you just keep doing it, and then you realize like life is easier like this, like being I don't want to like try to like fat shame anyone or anything like that because I don't really care what your weight is, but taking care of your health is definitely important. Like being able to, and I'm like, this isn't really just about health, but it is kind of, because like it's part of it. You have to like
lifestyle as well,
because your life is part of like what you have to take care of. Like you can't just eat junk food and you can't just die like and just destroy your body. Like it's something else you have to take care of. Like it's something else you have to worry about.
But how
You
much
are
of that is
responsible for
agency
it.
of the person and not of the like corporation that by and
Define
large
agency.
is
Say that a
Yeah, I'm
little
confused
different.
what you specifically mean by that.
agency?
Like within-
How much is in their control versus the control of the corporation?
well,
I think that's what the
think
movie's
it's-
about.
I think it's a
And
bit
in
of
the
a-
end, he conquers it. He's like,
well,
it's a
yeah,
bit
but
of
that's
a
what's important is that they have the
he
movie
take
definitely
the
says
agency back.
the movie
from the
definitely points out
corporation.
that it is your agency to take it back. Yeah, because they have golf courses and stuff where they could kind of take care of themselves, but it's easier not to. Like that's so. Like let's talk about real life. Like realistically,
yeah.
you get fucked all the time, but it's okay because they give you little like a movie like this where it's like, well, I got to sit down and watch this, so I'm okay with all the other bullshit that happened to me. But like you have to get like it's like saying you should demand more than that. Is that the best way to say it? Like
Just because
I'm
you're
trying to think-
comfortable doesn't mean you should.
Don't- Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
there's-
just, or like you get to go out on the weekends, but you just like your life is ruined every other day of the week. Like that's not
Yeah.
fair, and that's not the way it should be. Like you know,
Yeah.
like that's not
There's
a
a bit
fair
of that.
system.
I mean, it's like every day you come home from work, and for me, it's like whether you go to the gym or not, like nobody's there to force you to do it. Like nobody's there to force those guys onto the jogging track. But like if I don't go to the gym, like literally after like 2 days, I start to feel way worse. I start to feel like more anxious. It's really weird. It's like
It's something
working
you can
out and
control.
like exercise and like eating well is like it's important for you to have that little bit of like self-discipline to
I
balance
also
it
don't
out.
want to just make it about working out and eating and stuff, but it is important. Like I said, it's part of it. I
Exercise and
think,
diet.
That's where you're
I think-
drawing the comparison to.
yeah, I think but I'm really trying to make the comparison everything, like your passions, like art or like writing or
it's one specific
music.
Your
part of it.
podcast.
But I do think exactly, like I do think everyone needs a bit of everything. Like
Your
I think you should.
enjoyment of watching the Film Friends YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's the only thing you should watch by and large.
I was gonna say that's the only automated thing is
Run the ad.
this podcast being auto loaded every time you make a YouTube account.
Shit, I don't even remember.
You're
what I was gonna
automatically
say.
subscribed to our channel.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love food, dude. Like I like to eat like junk and shit like that. But it's like you can't do that every meal. Like you got to learn the mediation of how to make sure you're still taking care of yourself. Like because usually the reason people do eat like that is just because it's easier or like
Make sure you're steering the ship.
Yeah, take control of your own life because trust me, they make it easier for you on purpose. They make it easier for you so like you just buy their stuff, and it's like that's the whole point is the convenience. They even in this movie, the convenience of it all. Like if it's just more convenient, then I'll just do that. Sometimes convenience isn't always good, and it's a convenience store really that kind of took over the earth, so it is kind of on the nose.
Yeah.
But what this is the big thing I want to say is like I think everyone should put like at least like an hour a day into your like some kind of healthy thing, like some kind. It doesn't have to be going to the gym, but some kind of exercise, like walk, run, basketball, a sport you enjoy. You have to find time for your passions, with like or creatively, like art, music, movies, whatever it is. Like all that is extremely important. Or you'll just won't even be alive at that point. Like that's what life is really about.
Your passions and the things that those like whatever passion adjacent activities or whatever.
Yeah.
Regardless, everyone should eat well and exercise. 100%.
Be like Wally, unapologetically show off your passions to the people that you like.
Yeah.
Your passion shouldn't just be the easiest thing you could do today. Like you're pursuing your passions is actually going to be a difficult thing at times, but the difficulty doesn't make it not fun.
Look,
because people equate
difficulty
and like hard work and not like being like they equate difficulty with bad. I don't think that they're even in the same ballpark. Like they're two separate things.
Yeah.
If you like to lay back and watch TV, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to say that, but I'm trying to say within mediation. Learn how to like break it up, break up the pattern. Like it's good to sit down and do that. Yeah, but switch it up. Try to definitely like everybody likes to eat a good burger. But you can't, but you can't eat a burger and fries every meal. Like you got to switch it up. You got to try to make that choice to eat a little better.
You got to invest in yourself.
In yourself, yeah. You're worth investing in more than just worry about yourself.
There's a reason in the yin and yang symbol that there's the dark dot in the white space and the white dot in the dark space because there's room for each side. Like there's room for it being difficult and something that you enjoy. There's room for a shitty meal, a Snickers bar, and a good diet. Like there's room for that stuff.
Sam, you know what? The good thing you just said that because like talking about that is also another important thing that this movie is connection with other people. That is also important. Make sure to get out there and just like look. I could be an asshole. There's plenty of days where I'm just like I don't want to fucking talk to anybody. I don't want to deal with anybody. But it is important to get out there and understand others and have empathy for others, even if it's not like I'm not saying you got to get down and suck their dick, but you can just do them a favor and help them out. Be nice.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, just sucking their day.
Yeah.
Chris is like,
that would make that person's day so much better. If like,
dude, you know what?
I take that back. Actually,
do it.
The unsolicited cocksucking is not okay. Consent, please.
Quote Jid. What do you call a bitch that don't suck dick? You don't. So suck someone's dick.
I think this is such a goofy
consensually.
Reference.
I had wondered, like over the course of watching the movie, how much do you think of Wally's personality? Because he has like very much a personality, as like a lot of the other robots do. How much of his personality do you think is a product of him being alone on Earth for such a long time?
I think a lot of it.
Personality Yeah, I don't really. It would have to be because all the other Wallies are like dead.
I don't think it's specifically from him being alone, but the movie definitely maybe, but it pushes the fact that like I'm trying to think of the good word for it, like experiences, like because like when he like I said, they hear music and it will motivate them like to change or something like that. I'm trying to think of a good word for that.
I would say that he like hasn't been brainwashed like the other
I
robots.
was gonna say it's interesting because like it made me think how this robot has become so much more personable and like
sentient than the other robots.
Human like with like desires for love, that like human would have over time, whereas people have become more like robotic over time and just like automated in the way they do things.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was
I think it's also
had 900 years to develop something like that.
I think it's cool symbolism with the lines throughout the movie, just because I feel like it kind of has to do with you're talking about how they all ride on lines, like if they wherever they go, it'll set up like a line track for wherever they're going. Yeah, so I guess what to your point, John, is I would figure at least in the movie sense that it pushes the fact that him being alone made him I guess more sentient being the best word for it, like more relatable, more something like that. I can't think of a good word for it.
Yeah, because like he's always like going around and finding little like
little doodads,
little pieces of
little
like,
Johns,
little pieces of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lighter,
whatever he finds interesting.
Yeah.
Remember, he finds a diamond ring and he tosses the diamond ring and takes the box.
Yeah,
dude, it's I don't know what like the like he was very clearly lived. I think beyond what his original purpose was. Like they probably thought this was going to be like 100 years max. But Wally's lived like almost 1,000 years.
Yeah, do you think he lived the whole 900 years? That's one part I didn't fully.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's
because he's
it
so
was
much
700
more
years, right?
It's like it's 700 years, 700 something years. I think
because like he's so much more rudimentary in his design, like as compared to like Eve, who's like very like sleek and like futuristic looking, and he's very, like
Sorry, I dropped something.
he looks like a cat, like backhoe.
Yeah. Wally also didn't know that people were like in space too. Like
I think it's interesting to ask from the movie. Do you think like I think it's meant to like make you think. We don't know when the other robots all died because you do see their corpses and stuff, but that him doing his job was part of what helped save the Earth. Like him doing that, like moving the trash and like putting it away was part of like what was able for life to grow on Earth again.
Yeah, that's interesting because it happened close to him. It happened close to him, so moving.
I assume no.
Maybe I don't
also
know.
A big question:
Keeping
what
his
the fuck
area
is
clean?
going on in the rest of the world? Like
The rest of the world could be way worse.
What if the rest of the world was fine? Like everybody else is still just
the
living
US.
there.
It's just the United States.
The US was fucked up. You go to China and it's still like it is today, but like here is just
That'd be a crazy twist.
We'd rather leave the planet than live in Europe. Like,
That would be wild. Literally, just this is what it's literally only Detroit.
Britain was it's just in Detroit. This is actually just Detroit in 2013. They actually weren't right about. They lost track of the years because of time dilation. It's actually 2013. And
The Tigers didn't win a World Series in the prime, so the city just destroyed itself.
It's Philadelphia, and like the Eagles lost the Super Bowl.
The second championship. Philly loses 2 championships in 1 year, and society collapsed.
And just destroyed the United States. A post-apocalyptic world was created. But what the fuck were we saying? Oh, about I was talking about Wally potentially being part of what saves the Earth as him like.
Yeah, I'd like that theory.
He could
Whether
be.
it is kind of headcanon, but like I feel like throughout the movie, because like I mean, all we see is him doing that, and then he finds the plant. I think it does kind of point to the fact of like, because I think there's the idea when it comes to environmentalism, like one person can't make a difference, which I think like it's a complicated question in the first place. But I think the movie is trying to say like you can make a difference.
Let's combine the past two conversations because Wally is so unique and has this bright personality.
I think that's what helps him survive, by the way.
Saves the planet.
I think that's part of the reason he is the one that survives is because he's creative and he he takes stuff from the other robots to keep fixing himself. But I don't feel like it implies that that's from like his directive or anything. Like he just does that to survive and keep doing his job. Like also, why does he keep doing his job? Why? Who doesn't ever really?
Because
him collecting other parts that he.
I think it's because he likes to do it. I think it's because he likes to do it.
Yeah, he likes
Interesting.
collecting things clearly.
Yeah.
And then like the other Wallies probably did not have it in their programming to collect stuff.
So because he
think him
happened to
collecting-
find his
That's the thing,
passion,
I think it's beyond
that's how he's
programming.
able to save.
Yeah.
Save the
I think that's how he's able to survive, and him continually doing it, and whether it was a thankless job or not, like it ended up paying off in the end. I
It
think
could
is
be.
part of
Hey, hey, it's not a thankless job. We'll thank him now.
Yes. Thank you, Wally.
But-
Everybody
Wally.
give a hand to Wally.
We,
Thank you,
we
Wally.
need a round of applause for Wally.
Yeah.
I feel
My
like
man,
I
Wally.
feel like it would be a thankless sort of thing, because like you do.
Well, he's the only one fucking there who's thanking him.
You do the right
The cockroach
thing.
shouldn't be. He's pissed. He's
know,
like, put the trash back.
It's sort of like you're supposed to do the right thing, not expecting a thanks, even if no one's looking, not looking for any kind
Yeah.
of reward or anything. You do the right thing because you should do it. But
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
maybe.
I do like that this movie, especially when it comes to the trash stuff, is like, yeah, this company's a piece of shit. Like, this company is fucked up for this. Like, it does not hold back on that at all. Like, by and large, I like that you see him right at the start, and he's so clearly like this fake positive guy. He's like, yeah, we're gonna do it, guys. I'm by and large, we're positive. But really, like, especially whenever it's like 10 years later, he's like, yeah, it's fucking over. The world's done.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. Don't come back.
Stay out there. Stay out there. Yeah.
Just stay in space.
I can't remember who's the actor that plays
He's-
the by and large
he's
president.
like a-
He's a big actor. I really
He's,
like him. I
like
can't think
all
of his
over
name.
the
though.
place. Like he's one of those guys you just see in everything.
But I know I used to know his name, but I just can't think of it.
Yeah.
He's a funny
doesn't
guy.
I know it if
familiar.
I heard it.
Is it Fred Willard? Is that his name?
I wouldn't
Um,
remember off the top of my head right now.
Are you right? That
You
sounds
You might
right.
be right.
I have no idea.
It's got a small cast, so like,
It's Fred Willard.
oh,
There you go. Yeah, he's a funny guy. I love him.
Big brain.
Anything he's really in. But yeah, I do appreciate that they're like, yeah, by and large, is fucked up for this. Like, they don't really hold back again. Like, they're kind of the villain in the movie, even if in the end it's because of the Otto is the ship technically. Like, he runs the ship, so he is kind of the villain, and that is what is left of by and large.
Yeah. He's not even really a villain. He's just doing what he was programmed to do.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's still the villain. Like, villain is
Yeah,
a term
he-
in a writing
his-
sense. Like,
Yeah.
His director
He is a
knows
dick.
to keep him
he's
there.
he's a real dick. So what do
He
you
is a
want me
dick.
to say? Yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Whenever I like how he pushes the button and shocks it in the end, and it just makes the thing go down harder. Like, how the fuck does that work? But oh my god, how fucked up does Wally get? Wally's a tough
Yeah.
little fucker. He gets
Yeah.
crushed while he's already like power drained, or what? Like his chip is already like got a hole in it. And he was holding the thing up, and then he fucking got smashed. Like, there was literally like none of them left, and he came back from. He's a tough little dude.
yeah.
They should have stabbed the shit out of Wally.
He
They
decided,
should have someone start shanking him.
he decided to put aside his own, his own desires to do the right thing.
I think throughout the whole movie, though, that was his thing. Like, he just did what he thought he was supposed to do, whatever, regardless of what that was. But I wanted to bring this up because it's just funny. When all the people fall out of their chairs because the place is tilted, and then they slam into like the glass, bro, there would be so many dead people. Like, so many of those people would have died, especially with how heavy they are. It would have just been like, all you would have heard was
minimal bones breaking.
yeah, yeah, I guess their bones couldn't break, but their organs could still get smushed.
They got- they got lots of
got
layers
like,
of
they got
fat.
like blubber.
Yeah, they're
They're
pretty,
like
they're
blubber.
pretty doughy.
Exactly. Imagine 700-pound people just sliding into you. Even if you don't have bones, your guts would just be like out your
Yeah, no,
mouth.
Yeah,
Like,
because
I want to see adult Wally. Where's adult Wally? Where they get smashed into
Yeah.
the glass and
They-
die.
They'd probably all have heart attacks because
don't
all of a
know.
sudden
They
their
would be
hearts need
so
to like
scared.
beat. As soon as they like need to take a couple of deep breaths, all their hearts will just explode.
When that that little police robot falling out of the captain's quarters was adult Wally to me.
That was
guy got-
adult
yeah,
Wally.
that
That should have been the whole movie. He
was-
does. He gets
That's fucked
obliterated.
up.
I like it. They
Yeah.
like knew you were gonna be like, I want this little fucker to
It
die.
was shocking when I was like, oh my god.
He is such a little fucker though, so he deserves
He
it.
deserves it.
Yeah.
He is. He's a dick the whole time.
Cole, I think you had something you wanted to say.
Yeah. Well, it kind of leads into someone was talking about Eve's design. I think that was you, John.
Mhm.
An egg.
But I really didn't get. Okay, so
How does
her
she fly?
directive, right? Her job is to find life, right? So she's traveling to all these planets looking for, or traveling Earth, all these areas looking for life. Why does she have a gun? And why is it her like first instinct to shoot the first thing that moves? Like, what if that was proof of life and she just murdered it?
She's
I
proof of
would
plant
agree.
life.
Well, I don't think it was specifically. Well, no, it was proof of photosynthesis. If you remember, that was what they were looking for.
Vegetation.
What
I
does E
think
stand
no,
for?
it says photosynthesis whenever it's like
What does
I think
E
it's
stand
like,
for?
shut up. It's
Someone in your
Extraterrestrial vegetation evaluator.
thank you.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you got to remember that she was made by people, and they're probably like, yeah, there's gonna be mutant animals down there trying to kill us and stuff like that. Like, so that was probably why they did that.
I don't know. She almost vaporizes the cricket, like for no reason, just like.
Well, no, she did
So-
vaporize the cricket. No, it's a cricket. It's a cockroach, and he only survives because he's a cockroach.
yeah.
I feel like it's got to be like a myth, like a wives' tale, right? Like cockroaches wouldn't be able to live.
You
that
have to squat. I think like what is it like? They'll survive like a nuclear bomb or something. I don't see how
Yeah.
they would, but I don't
Yeah, I
fucking
don't
know.
know.
I've
They
heard
I
of
guess
probably-
radiation doesn't affect them or something.
Yeah, but if you remove their, I forget what it is, like their neck basically from their head, from the body, like that's the only way to kill them, pretty much. I think
You can
that's why you
squish 'em.
can't. That's why you can't squish them, because you have to separate that, or they'll just come back.
What if you put them on like a 20-ton hydraulic press?
Yeah.
they're dead.
I don't know. I didn't try it. I'm just saying, like why are you?
I'm not a
why am I
fucking
the,
cockroach expert.
yeah, why am I the leading expert on cockroaches now?
I don't know if-
you said you were like
I
actually
don't
the
know
only
if
way
that
to do
counts
it
as
is
squishing.
Yeah, you
decapitate them.
you seem to be pretty knowledgeable.
I've
You have to
watched The
remove the
Office, all right?
thorax.
I've watched The Office, okay? I remember that was a quote from The Office. He was like, yeah, you have to remove the neck from or the head from the thorax or whatever it's called, or they'll just like be fine. Like that's why you never heard that? Like you can't squash a cockroach because like that's like I'm not sure how true it is, but like that's what you have to do for them to die. Like if you
It
try to
was-
squash
it-
them, it won't work.
Made for some good jokes, so I don't care.
I mean, he's in the movie for like 2 seconds, but like he's such
Little
a
dude.
he is such a random character. Like he's just like, why did they? Who was like, let's put a cockroach that's really cool in there.
They gave Wally a buddy. You know?
He's really
You know?
chill.
He wasn't.
Yeah,
totally
Wally killed
yeah.
him. Wally ran him over.
Yeah.
Wally's a bad friend to the cockroach.
Twice. He ran him over twice.
And then oh yeah, because the second time he wasn't Wally at the time. He was Wally.
Wally.
Wall A.
You know,
All
I think
right,
I'm gonna bump my rating to a 7.5. I'll
Thank
give
you.
I'll give it that.
There we
That's
go.
the-
There
This
we are.
conversation really
We've-
changed it.
This whole
Yeah.
hour conversation bumped up 0.5 for Cole.
Be a
I
Sigma
think-
Cole.
Yeah.
Go
I
lower.
think it's
You
I
guys-
think
Go
it
lower.
deserves- I think it deserves the 8, but Cole's a dick. So,
Stick to
You
your
think this,
guns.
guy,
Yeah.
this is the best Pixar movie?
yeah, it's my
Uh,
favorite. My
I
favorite Pixar
don't
movie.
think so.
It's my
I guess. I
favorite
guess.
Pixar.
I guess
It's
to
up
put a.
there.
I guess
I
to
like it.
put a bookend on all this. Where do you think we know it for Sam and Nate, but where do you think this rates amongst all of Pixar's movies?
Is
Think-
Incredibles a Pixar movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is another good one.
I like Toy Story.
I was gonna
Toy
say.
Story.
One and
2?
Dude.
I would say
Toy
Toy
Story
Story.
stuff.
Toy Story
Rabbit-
2 is number one.
Ratatouille is
Three.
on the same level. I feel.
Get
I
out
think
of here.
Ratatouille is better. I think Ratatouille might be the best Pixar movie.
Get out of here. Ratatouille, is
Ratatouille
up
same
there.
level. Same level.
Ratatouille is
not.
overrated.
It's not. It is
I
overrated.
think
For
that
no
is
reason, it's not even that good.
That's about it though.
I
that'll
mean, it is
probably
good. It's not great.
that'll probably be the next
Like I said, I haven't seen Up. So.
Pixar movie that gets recommended. Ratatouille.
Cars a Pixar
Up-
movie?
Cars
Is overrated.
Cars
Up-
is
if-
fire.
This
I
movie's
don't-
better. We
I
can
don't
agree that this
see-
movie's better than Finding Nemo, right?
How can
No.
you?
That's an agreement.
No,
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No.
Nope.
It's the,
Wait, which movie? Wally or
movies are
which movie are you
very
talking
good.
about?
Finding
Wally.
Nemo.
Finding
Which
Nemo's
movie?
better.
Wally is better than
Wally and
Finding
Finding
Nemo?
Nemo.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking about Ratatouille.
Um,
I don't know. I like Wally a little better. Finding Nemo is really good though
Yeah.
too.
I think it's.
Finding,
I think
Finding Nemo's better.
I like
Pixar has a lot of
Finding-
hits. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Pixar has a lot of
Have
hits.
you guys?
Wally
Do you guys look? I'll ask this before we end.
They've
this,
kind of
because we'll
fallen
talk about-
off, but
We'll talk about. Get the fuck out of here. They've fallen off. That's what I was gonna ask.
they've fallen off.
Let me name some
the
really
past
good
5 years,
Pixar
they've
movies.
fallen off.
Onward,
Yeah.
fantastic. Soul, fantastic.
Soul's
What
good.
else is
Soul.
coming up? Soul's really good. Onward's really good if you haven't watched it. What else has come out recently? I have to think right now.
that panda one, right? I don't remember.
I
what
heard
it's
that's
called.
good. I haven't
Kung
watched
Fu
it.
Panda?
No, Turning
I
Red.
haven't-
Turning Red. I haven't watched it, so I've heard it's
a
good.
Pixar. What is the most recent Pixar movie I've seen? Probably
but it-
Incredibles 2, and that movie kind of sucked.
I didn't like that. Yeah.
You can't
No,
tell
it's
me.
Fine. It's fine.
You can't tell me Soul isn't great. Like Soul is
I
an
can see that one.
It was
amazing
pretty good.
movie.
Not better than Wally.
Soul is up there though. I'm not saying it's specifically better than Wally, but it's fucking up there. You're not gonna sit there and hate on Soul.
Wally's the standard.
I like Soul. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the one
that's it.
good movie they made in the past 5
No,
years.
Onward. Have you watched Onward?
No,
Not
I
watch
Didn't
haven't.
Onward.
most people hate Onward?
Yeah,
Is that
'cause
even
they're
a Pixar
wrong.
movie?
You're appealing
is,
to
it is.
Because they're
popularity.
dumb.
Yeah, no, I'm literally like,
Got nothing on planes.
I hate when people are like,
I've never
well,
seen Planes.
People
Never
say
seen
it's
it
bad.
either.
I don't give a fuck what people think. Like, people think Marvel movies are the best movies that come out. Like, they make billions of dollars every day. Like, I don't give a fuck what people think. Like, their opinions suck. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
This is the last. Like,
It seems like
the last.
we have
Do
a
you
lot
check-
of Pixar movies to talk about.
Do you check IMDb and are like, well, this is the standard
Yeah.
for this movie?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Can I
don't
just
give
give
a fuck.
myself a pat on the back for for recommending this movie and getting us in the animation category?
Sure,
And-
yeah.
Let's hype up Chris. Let's go.
Yeah,
Thank
let's
you,
just talk
Chris.
about how cool Chris is.
Thank you. All right,
No, good. That was a good pick.
I think it's a good place to end it.
A solid pick.
bring up the wheel.
I have
All
never
right,
beat it.
let's do it.
Banger.
I'm not on the wheel. It's
What-
one of you
Oh,
four. I've never.
the big subscribe button.
You guys should subscribe while the wheel is up.
Oh
my God, it's
God!
John.
Here we
my
It's been a long time coming. A long time coming.
It has been a minute since we've had John.
What was
John
the
literally,
last
like,
John
just
movie?
said, I think.
Who killed Captain Alex?
Yeah, that was his second
That's
one.
right.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
So, all right, like I've had a decent amount of time to ruminate on what I'd like to recommend in the event that I do get picked again. And I kind of thought about it because this was another instance of one that we had all seen before. And typically, like every
Nervous.
time, it's usually at least like one person has seen it, or like only one person hasn't seen it, and they pick it because they hadn't seen it. And I was thinking, like, I want to do a movie that none of us have seen before. Everyone goes in dry.
Line.
So
I'm nervous.
I thought of one. I don't know. It was it's like
I'm on edge.
John's really building this up. Like, he could just say
I tried. It's gonna be like Cars. No, but Cars 2. No, but I'm recommending this movie I had heard about that looked interesting, but I've never even seen, and it's called Possession. I think it's from like 1980 or something.
I have
It
no
ha-
clue what that is.
It has Sam Neill from like Jurassic Park in it, and it's like to my knowledge, it is like a horror movie. So it looked interesting.
I feel like I might have seen like a remake of this. I don't know if it is or not. It sounds similar to something I've heard of.
Well, now you're gonna see the original, Nate.
Yeah. So yeah,
Alright, let's check it out.
I think this will be fun if we all go in
I'm always down to watch a horror movie.
with zero.
From 1981.
I think so. Yeah.
Yep, horror drama.
I'm
Let me
scared
click on
already.
IMDb to get my opinion about the movie before I watch it.
I think this will be fun if we all go in with. No
I'm just
prior
saying, guys, there's
experience.
a 7.3 on IMDb.
But yeah,
What
All
the?
right. See you guys.
Great-
What
great-
the fuck do you think I'm talking about?
great pick, Chris.
Exclamation point.
Hey, good pick. Good pick, John.
Love you guys.
Hopefully.